as far as this show is concerned, like what it means about the future of higher ed. And you just sort of hit on it, Jack, which is that athletics is a part of the zeitgeist right now in a lot of ways around sort of outrage in different ways around higher ed. And it figures prominently in three of the stories that you picked out of that you all picked out of the 16. You had Jetgate with the Auburn president and board members looking to replace Tommy Tuberville. You had the UNC athletics, right, and the falsifying not just grades, but also classes in some cases. And then even Varsity Blues has an athletic angle to it in terms of people fabricating, putting their faces on top of bodies that were not theirs and showing that they played sports that they had never touched a lacrosse stick or whatever it was. What do you make of that athletics is really a big undercurrent of these scandals in higher ed?
I think you're onto something there too. The relationship that colleges have to their athletics departments probably has something to do with this. This is a little outside of my expertise, but it is the front porch of the university, but it's also kind of running its own affairs. I think we've seen this with like really wealthy med schools, for example, that kind of are their own fiefdoms, and they're not necessarily operating by the systems and values of the institution. I think that's one of them. The other thing is that I think a great higher ed controversy, and I'm saying great in the context of memorable, absurd, delicious.
Right. Not one that you are endorsing.
Yeah, something that I'm drawn to as a reporter. It usually bridges the interest and passions of the university community and the public at large. And there's no better way to do that than with athletics. So a great controversy usually confirms some sort of societal suspicion. All three of the cases that you mentioned do that. They do involve athletics, but they also confirm preconceived notions about the institution. So everybody thinks the game is rigged for rich people. And Varsity Blues says, you know what, you're absolutely right. It is. So you have federal prosecutors charging at least 50 people for using bribery and fraud and all these deplorable tactics to get students into highly selective colleges like Yale.